Hi, everybody. My name is Shamela Sidindi, also known as Millinstead on social media platforms. And I am here to speak about my testimony. So, I have known the Lord for the longest time, and it was something that was in our household that we spoke about. But we weren't people who went to church. It was just like we're Christian by the name, by whatever just goes with the vibes of being Christian, and that's basically what we were. And my mom made the intentional effort to take us to church as much as she could. So we started out at the Methodist church, and over the years, one of her friends invited us to a different church. At the Methodist church, they spoke a lot of Xhosa, and then my sister and I, we understood Xhosa, we spoke it fluently. However, we did struggle a little bit with the like deep Xhosa, and then eventually when we visited this church that my mom's colleague had invited her to, they were speaking English, and there things started making a lot more sense for me. I was able to grasp the concept of this God thing, and I became intrigued. And so, the more I became interested, the more efforts I wanted to make to get to know more about it. And so I became involved with the community, with the church, and I think I got saved at like 15. And the thing about when I got saved is that I didn't really understand the concept of getting saved. So every week I would be at church and they would ask who wants to give their lives to the Lord. And I would raise my hand almost every week because I just didn't understand. I thought that every time I sinned, it means I wasn't the Lord's anymore. It meant that I lost that relationship or whatever it was that I had gained when I got saved. Eventually, they got tired of me lifting my hand every week and they finally explained that, when you get saved once. You will mess up here and there, but it doesn't mean you have to consistently get saved every week. I think they were just tired of me at that point. That's why they had to clarify. Um, at this point, I'm on fire for the Lord. I am working in ministry. I am so motivated and really inspired by the church community around me. And eventually, I get to a place where I go to college and I kind of lose the pathway again when I get to tertiary. I'm hanging out with my tertiary friends, all of these things. We're going to these parties, these varsity parties, and I get like sucked into the life, and I lose the fire that I had, the fire that I knew myself to have with the Lord. And basically, I end up backsliding a lot, and I'm living in the world at this stage. I'm drinking, I'm smoking, I'm doing all of the things, and I feel really like okay with myself. Like I don't feel too bad. I've made it make sense to myself, but there's this deep sadness that I just cannot understand, and it just continues to follow me into my adolescent years. I think I started to realize that the last time I didn't feel this sad was when, or this level of darkness just floating over me was when I was serious about the Lord, when I had a relationship with the Lord. And so I tried to get back into that. I try to get back into taking my relationship with the Lord seriously again, not just like devotionals here and there. Like there was a point where I wasn't reading my Bible at all, even. So I'm like trying to unpack the Bible again and form an understanding again. And I asked a friend of mine to help me on this journey and just hold my hand through it. And that was a game changer because now I had accountability. And so at this point, I leave everything that is of the world in the world and I come to this new clean slate. I eventually decide to get baptized. That is essentially where things really changed in my life. I truly understood what it meant to have a faith that knows no bounds, a relationship with the Lord that is not limited by what I understand to be in right standing with the Lord, but is broadened by the righteousness that is given to me because of Jesus Christ and solely because of Jesus Christ. I finally understood what it meant to have a seat in heaven, not because of my works, but because of what he did for me on the cross. And it was my first time living in a way that I could comprehend it truly. And even when I could comprehend it, it was still too much for me to fathom because I realized how much love there was for me and available to me this entire time. And so I think that was such an intimate thing to understand about your creator. And the more I was able to get into depth so that the more things didn't shake me as much. I think a lot changed in terms of not wanting to live in the world anymore when I lost my father. Also, I think that was a big transition period for myself. And I just saw that, we think we have a lot of time in this world and we really don't. If we're not going to die, God is coming back pretty soon. And I think we need to wake up to that. And I don't want to be a part of the problem where we live in this type of comfortability of just feeling like I have all the time in the world. I can live how I want to live. We don't have all the time in the world. And the Bible says that he comes back. When he comes back, it will be like a thief in the night. It's going to be something so unexpected. No one knows the time, nor the day. And I want to be able to be someone who walks in expectance of the Lord coming back, prepared and ready, with my lamp filled with oil, and being ready to also pour oil into other people's lamps, so that before the time actually comes, I can have already replenished my lamp, so that I have enough oil when the Lord comes back. I want to be able to bring people, I want people to look at me and be like, okay, I'm intrigued. I want people to have conversations with me and be like, okay, something about her says that there's a God that exists. I truly don't want to just be a chair whilst on this earth. I don't want my impact to be as good as a chair, because the chair does its job, but it doesn't change anything, right? It makes me live more comfortably, it makes me sit more comfortably, it makes my place look more aesthetic, but it doesn't change my life. I want to be somebody who's able to, even if it's just a seed. That's all. Honestly, that's all I want to be. I want to be like a seed planter. I just want to put the seed down, and then everything else is up to the Lord. I just want people to look at God. I want everything about me to glorify God. And that is something that I think about every day, and that I work towards every day. And not in terms of works as in filthy rags. I mean more so as in, when I think about my outfits in a day, I need to think, okay, will people look at me and be like, why does she continuously choose to dress like that? Like, why is that her choice? I wanna stand out. I want people to look at me and be like, yo, the way that her life is changing, it can only be God. The way that she chooses to honor the Lord, even around all of these temptations, that could only be one thing. And the only thing for it to make sense is that it's God. So I think it took a long time for me to get this serious about my relationship with the Lord. So be encouraged that it doesn't happen overnight. It took me quite a few years. I've been saved since I was 15. I'm now 25, so that's been 10 years. And I've had my ups and downs in it all. And I think I've only really grasped um, truly what it means to leave my life of sin behind and walk in the light in the last 3 years. I hope this touches you, and I hope it makes you want to also become a change.